It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on Habscast.
Welcome back to Habscast. I'm your host, Grant McCagg. I have no idea what happened there, folks. Bear with me. Some technical difficulties. StreamYard, for some reason, was not. I was blabbing away for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm thinking, why is there nobody online? Like, how come there's no comments and how come there's nobody watching? And it was playing a live stream that was not this one. Profuse apologies for that. I'm a little late getting rolling here. Hey, we've already got 21 people tuning in, so good stuff. Thank you for remaining patient and hanging on the line, as they say. Look, congratulations have to go to Carey Price. I'll repeat what I said to start there. He is going to be inducted in the Canadiens Ring of Honor on November 10th. The team announced Tuesday. The on-ice ceremony at the Bell Center will come one day after he is immortalized in the Hockey Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2026. He will become the 62nd member of the Canadiens inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Not bad, eh? He spent his entire 15-year career, of course, with the Canadiens, setting franchise records for goaltenders with 712 games played and 361 wins. Price won the Hart Trophy, Vezina Trophy, Ted Lindsay Award, and William Jennings Trophy during his career, and he backstopped the Canadiens to the Stanley Cup Final in 2021. Internationally, he won gold with Canada at the 2014 Olympics and the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, and of course, the World Juniors, which many of us will remember for that famous multi-round shootout. And he also won a Calder Cup with the Canadiens. So a very decorated career, missing one thing only, and that was a Stanley Cup ring. But everything else, he achieved it. And full marks for Carey Price going into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think for many, he was the best goaltender of his era. And typically, you know, you got a 15-year era and you're the best. You are a shoe-in to go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I thought he'd go in the first time around. He was passed over, but it took him 2 years. Close enough. Congratulations to Carey, and he'll get a nice honor that night for what he's achieved. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't know anybody here going to be the season ticket holders or will be attending. Let us know in the live chat. I the two main Russians, actually all three of the Montreal's biggest Russian prospects, if you include Konyushkov, played today. Of course, they're in full swing with they have a bunch of cups that they play for this time of year in Russia in the preseason. I don't know the names of them all. Apologies to the people who they're named after, but today Pugachov played his second straight game in the MHL, which is interesting. He started the year, the preseason with the big club, played less than 10 minutes. Then he went down to the MHL, has played in 2 games, and so far through 2 matches with the junior club, he has 1 empty net goal, no points today. I'll get some highlights when the video comes up on Instat. I've been lucky enough the last 2 days. Zharovsky's games I have found on a new Russian website, RuTube or whatever, and I got the clips pretty quickly after the games and put them up for my Patreon subscribers, my loyal bunch there over on Patreon. Look, listen, if you want to subscribe and get all of this stuff like instantly, you get early access to all of these prospect videos, right? I put up Pugachov's yesterday on First thing in the morning, I put up Zharovsky's a little after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. He finished the game at 12:30. Today, mid afternoon, Zharovsky's highlights were up for Patreon subscribers. And what's cool too is as soon as it's posted, folks, it gets emailed. The link gets emailed right to you. It's only $5 a month to subscribe to my Patreon page. So I highly recommend it because this year I'm going to get tons of prospect videos up there that will be exclusive to my loyal Patreon membership. We're trying to build here. I'd like to get 100. I'd like to get 100. We're at about 40 some. But listen, as a token of gratitude for being a member of our Patreon page, you subscribe, you get a free, you get into the draw for a pair of tickets to the last exhibition game against Ottawa on September 26th. Paul Antoniadis has been so kind. He did it last year and he's done it again this year. Donated 2 tickets, section 124. I sat there with Paul in a playoff game against Tampa, and there aren't much better seats than that. It's almost right at center ice. It's high enough up that you can see all the action. You're not right at the glass. I don't like being at the glass. And they are some of the premium seats in the entire building. A value of $577 for the 2 tickets. He out of the goodness of his heart, he donated them to me again this year to try to help get my Patreon page going. Hey, the more people that are there, the more people that I can get in to help contribute and grow it into your go-to place for Habs coverage outside of Habscast, of course. I'll post a direct link to the membership here, right here. Keep it up on, there it is right there. If you want to subscribe and have a chance at winning those tickets, but also getting first dibs and getting all of the exclusive videos that I'm going to be doing all season on Zeroski and, of course, on Gleb Pugachov. But the interesting thing I found with Pugachov, playing down with because the parent club played today. So I thought maybe, he went down for one, he'd come back up, but no, he played junior again today. Meanwhile, Sergei Skvortsov, who I have as a number 1 or 2 best prospect for this upcoming draft, love him. He has stayed with the big club, and he's only 17 years of age. So he played in the first game. He played more minutes than Pugachov, and he didn't play today, but he's still up with the team, traveling with them. So right now, I did say a while back I thought that Pugachov would have the inside track to play on the KHL team this year, but I don't know that they'll keep 2 teenagers. Typically, KHL teams don't like to have 2. Right now, Shvortsov obviously has a bit of a inside track on being the 1 teenager if they decide to only go with 1. But that's no, that's not a condemnation by any means of Pugachov, because this Shvortsov kid is the real deal. He's not far behind Demidov as far as skill goes. He's super dynamic. So there's no shame in if they only go with 1 teenager on the parent club, that it would be Shvortsov and not Pugachov to start the year. And hey, maybe he needs another year of seasoning at the. It's not like he tore up the MHL last year points wise. Maybe 1 more year in junior, gain some more offensive confidence. I'd be shocked if he stayed there all year. I think he'll be up and down, play a bit maybe in the VHL too, and be back and forth, I would suspect. But look, Zharovsky today. That's the exciting story. I also have a video, by the way, on Vinnie Roorer. He played his first exhibition game for Zug on the 15th of August, and all he did was have a goal and two assists, centering the top line. You know who his line mate is, and this is kind of cool. Thomas Tatar is on his line, which I think is quite cool. Lots of Canadian connections there on the top line in Zug, but he looked great again. I would not be surprised, folks, if Vinnie Rohr this season, he's going to get a lot more opportunity with Zug than he did in Zurich. Um, I think he has a legitimate shot of being a top 20 scorer in the Swiss League this year, and that will only help him for next training camp, in Montreal. Go there even more prepared, more offensively confident, go and win a spot right out of camp next October or next September. Sorry. I'm, I'm more and more. At first, I was a little bit upset that he wasn't coming to camp, but um, I think that there was probably an agreement reached there between, Kent Hughes and Zug, where they said, okay, look, we're going to let you have him the entire season. And like it's got to be tough for a team, right? They sign a player, and then he goes off to camp in North America for a month or close to it, comes back, and he's missed, most of training camp. He's missed the first portion of the season, and he's got to acclimatize himself to the lineup. This way, he's there through the whole. They build a chemistry. They get that first line rolling right from game one of the season, and he has himself a killer year. But I think Kent Hughes probably said, "We'll loan you back. We'll loan him to you for the entire season, but we want some reassurance that he's going to play. He's going to play major minutes." And I think that uh, uh, it looks that way, that he'll be probably the number one center on the team. He had more than 20 minutes ice time in his first match with Zug, and he looked awesome. I'm as big a Vinnie Rohr fan as anyone. I've got the highlights, all right, and I'm gonna post them. I just got it done like with 2 minutes to spare before 7 o'clock, and then when I started the podcast, it's like, why is nobody watching? For some reason, it was another stream. Anyway, got it sorted out. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for hanging in there. I've got some loyal Habs cast viewers there, but um, Vinny Rohr highlights coming up after Zharovsky. That is the main topic today. Alex Zharovsky. All right. I showed highlights from Zeroski's game last night. If you missed it, go back and watch last night's show after this one, of course. But he Zerowski played on the wing the first game. Wasn't particularly impressive, I didn't think. You know, Looked a little out of sorts, I thought. T- Today he played center on the second line, and I thought he looked a lot better. I was a little surprised. Last year in the preseason, they did the same thing. They gave him some looks at center. They looked at him on the wing, but and early on in the year, Victor Kozlov, the coach, um, gave him a pretty good look early on at center. Now, when I first started watching today, and I'm like, what are you doing playing this guy at center? He's just not. I don't think he's ready to be playing center in pro hockey. But I guess there's two ways of looking at it. In one sense, maybe you don't have to perhaps play as physical a game at center in the KHL. You're not in the corners as much, banging your body. You can play in the center of the ice and not have as much contact. Uh, I mean, there are centers obviously that do play a physical game, but that's not Zharovsky's game. So I get that maybe angle from it, and also with the puck, he's uh, he's a puck possession forward, and typically your main puck possession players up front are centers and a distributor. He is a it's one of his elite qualities is puck distribution. It's very good. A very good puck possession, very good puck distribution. So there are parts of his game that you say, okay, he could play center, and especially in Russia, I think, where the game's not quite as physical or as defensive oriented as perhaps in North America. But on the other side of the coin, uh, defensively, you typically when you're playing center, you need to get back, you need to back check, you need to be defensively aware, you need to want to uh, play hard away from the puck as far as effort goes, as far as positioning goes. Not to be basket hanging back. You're the first forward back typically because you're protecting the middle, the neutral ice. Um, but and then the pace, right? Does he have the pace to play center at this juncture in his career? I don't think he does, but at the same time, or at least I didn't think he did going into this game. Now, bear in mind this is preseason, right? The things will wrap up as it goes along there, but today at least he didn't stick out as being overly poor defensively. I mean, he didn't do anything significant defensively, but at the same time, he didn't stand out as being um, particularly poor away from the puck. Certainly, there was more good than bad, and but he had the puck a lot, create a lot of chances. So, from an offensive standpoint, I liked his game. I liked his game today. Defensively, I didn't hate it. So, um, it's interesting that he looked better on the wing or at center than he did on the wing in the past two games. But it's a two-game sample. I'm not going to get overly excited about it one way or another. He's still, when you look at him, when you compare him to um, Michael Hage, he's not close to Hage at this point as being a center in the NHL. Hage is a lot more advanced, and so is Kapanen, obviously, who's already an NHL center. But encouraging nonetheless that he looked a lot better, that he played center and wasn't out of place, that he played center on the second line and produced some nice offensive chances. He scored a goal that was waved off. The goalie clearly got interfered with. He scored a goal at the end of the game when they were down a couple, um, the last 3 minutes. But it's nice. A nice shot. You'll see it. I'm sure you probably saw the highlights already, but if you didn't, you'll see them in these clips. Let's get at it and show you just what transpired today. He, I thought, his effort away from the puck was decent today. He even a couple of times you know, battle for pucks, like right there. He got out to the good play by him, getting out to the point and deflecting the shot out. So I liked his hustle on that shift. That's good. It's what he's going to have to do. Here he is in his own zone again. There again, right? Got out, deflected the puck away. His looks like he might be a little quicker. Didn't look too bad in that regard. So here he is, kind of, you know, his positioning on that was okay. There he got. There's an example of him being easily pushed over. Right, he's got to get stronger. I mean, okay, in the NHL, that's he's getting pushed around. It's just too early in his development to be playing at the NHL level. There, that's clear. So it's okay that he's still in Europe because I would say he's at least a couple years away. Here he is. Puck goes back deep. There, he lost it. That wasn't a very good play. But then again, look at this. He hustled over. He took, and I like that. That was a nice dipsy duel. Nice recovery there, right? That was, I want to see more of that. He hustled. He actually ran into a guy, got the puck. Sorry, he's that that wasn't him. There he is out at the point, pressuring the guy. A couple of my arrows. I'm still learning editing in CapCut. Apparently, I cannot. I cannot edit. I cannot highlight players in Instat and download. So I'm using a new program for highlighting, and there'll still be a couple of glitches here, but I'll try to. There he is, just before the arrow. He kind of let that guy go. Good thing the puck didn't come to that guy because Z did not. And again, there he got out to the point, got his stick. He's got a long stick, so the potential is there for him to be half decent defensively if you know, improves his reads, his positioning, his hustle, his strength. There again, right? Knocked over. Um, there he got dangled a bit. Should have been playing the man instead of the puck. These are things that will be taught as he goes along. And he gets the puck out, which is okay. So not the greatest shift, but survived it. I don't think he was on the ice for a goal against today, so that's good too. That's not him there. He's up top there, right at the boards. There, he gets the puck right here. Swings out. Luckily, it got out. Then again, see, look at that little move, eh? And then the pass. That's the kind of stuff that, excites you. And then the fake and then the back around. He does have skill. There's no doubt about that. He gets stronger, improves the rest of his game. You got to like some of the excitement of here he is on the draw. He does the old hey, it worked, right? Sometimes that move works. What the hell? I didn't get his stats. They're a little sparse this time of year. Don't know how much he played. Don't know his face-off percentage, but I do know that he played a fair bit, and it was second line center. Third period especially, fair bit of time. They were down 4-1 here already, but the encouraging thing is here he had a chance but couldn't. And then they ran out of time here. Encouraging thing is that he wasn't on the ice for any of those 4 goals against. So we're back. We're into the third period here now. On the power play, that's where he excels at this point, KHL level. But I did see, some signs, better 5-on-5 play. There's a good play. He's smart. sees the ice well. You can certainly see that there's top six ability there if he puts it all together, and that's pretty cool. There's a nice move, and he gets the shot off. Here he gets it back. Little quick with that pass. It was off, little off, but had the right idea. I think perhaps the third period you're down 4-1. He's more effective when you're down 3 goals than when they're up a couple, if you know what I mean. And he can take more offensive chances, and here he gets to the puck, loses it. Big bad Z. Got to get bigger. He's got to put on some weight. You can get away with it to a certain degree in the K because it's not the most physical league, but for North American pro hockey, I would say 2 years. There was a good play by him. Look at this play here. Look at that. So he should have had an assist. Thought that was his first point. That quite a snag. I guess the Wave goal isn't on this highlight. I must have, but it was clearly goaltender interference, and he shot it while the goalie was getting sprawled on. But that was a nice pass. Even nicer save. Played with Gorshkov and Kuznetsov, two of their better players on UFA. There's a nice another nice play by him. Almost had a couple. So he almost had a couple of assists, right? And then the Wave goal off, but that was clearly. I mean, he doesn't score if the goalie isn't knocked down, so I don't really put a lot of stock on that being a goal that was waved off, because the goalie was belted in his crease. And here, that's what I want to see more of. We saw that at the start of last year, a little more. I think he ran out of steam, kind of like Cap. But you see the back check here? Like that I like to see from him. Showed decent speed and hustled. Here he is back up into play. Got checked there, but I liked the back check. That's an encouraging sign. And then look at he finds the open man quite a bit. But there's a good example. He knocked down twice on that shift, but right there you can, Okay, can we back it up a little more? Here we go. He goes to try to hit. Yeah, got to put on some beef. Hey, most teenagers, hockey players that are 6'1", 6'2", need to do that. So maybe not Gleb, but here's his goal. I like the shot. That was a very nice shot. Looks like they like him. They're pretty happy for him. But you'll see on the replay here, the slow motion replay, he gets off a nice. It's a nice nice shot. Good accuracy. Good release. I think a shot might be a little better even. Let's see here. Boom. Perfect height, and off the inside of the goalpost. So encouraging signs from Zeroski. We're seeing, let's see that. I hope to see this throughout the season. Last year, it was the same deal, right? At the start of the year, like, holy frig, look at this guy. He's what y'all got to steal. And it might still be the case. But I think what might happen again this year is that as the games get tougher, the season goes along, and he run out of steam because he's still physically weak, and we won't see. He'll tail off as the season goes along, but um, we could we could see uh, we could see a decent start to the season again for Zharovsky. I think he'll put up points, right? And there'll be some nice highlight real moments, and Habs Twitter and Habs social media and media that doesn't necessarily watch all the games will get pretty excited. Habs fans in general, and that's good, you know. But I'll be I'll be watching his play away from the puck as always. The scout in me, right? It's his complete game, his two-way game, and I will be reporting on it um, as matter of factly as I can, because at the end of the day, to play center in the NHL or to play top six on the wing in the NHL, you've got to be good away from the puck. And like I say, in this game, better. I liked it, and also encouraging that he did it at center. So keep it up, young man. Um, Again, preseason, early on, will not get too excited about it, but at the same time, a good effort from him, and I feel better about him right now than I did 24 hours ago after watching his first game. Um, his two-way game's pretty good. Uh, Again, it's one game, as for life. His two-way game last game was not pretty good. um, he was all right in this game. He was all right. So, no, I don't. I would not generalize it right now as saying his two-way game is pretty good. His two-way game in that game was decent. I'll leave it at that. He's got to get stronger. There's no doubt about that. But um, oh, not hockey related, but rest in peace, Frank Beard. Oh, the only uh, the only member of ZZ Top that didn't have a beard, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, another. They keep passing away all of the rock legends that we grew up with, right? Yes. Thanks, Drum Dude, for bringing me that news. I had not heard that. Sheldon, $2. The Toonie Factory. Thank you, my friend. And speaking of friends, good evening, my friend Terry Meyer. Hey, back from vacay, are you? Not out on the not out on the lake anymore, up in Eganville area. Good to see you back, Terry. Attaboy Pricey. Yeah, the Habs will surprise him with a jersey retirement, not just a Ring of Honor, a bucket. Oh, the old bucket, eh? Um, we'll see. That's interesting. Maybe it'd be kind of the time would be pretty cool if they did do that, right? Hi Grant and all the crew. Hello, Kenny. Fortunately, they couldn't build anything around him. I'm just curious how many 2-1 losses he had in his career. Talking about Carey, of course. Imagine if he had this team in front of him. Imagine. Yeah. Well, if Carey Price had been healthy, Terry, 3, 4 years ago, they wouldn't. He wouldn't have this team in front of him, right? They wouldn't have had Slav. They wouldn't have Demidov. They wouldn't, right? Price not getting in the first time is the voters saying they will make guys pay their dues. Another sorry fact that the writers are idiots. I'm not going to throw my colleagues under the bus, but anyway, I see Zharovsky coming in around 4 years from now, just to make Suzuki's negotiation a little more in line. I could be wrong. They have their captain the money he deserves, and later I predict. Yeah, I don't see him being a first line center, Terry. I think ultimately he will be a winger, the NHL level. Um, Again, folks, patreon.com. Sign up, and you will be getting these videos early afternoon all season long. The Russian videos, uh, you know, I'm going to get them exclusive to everybody, and lots of them won't be seen anywhere else. So uh, sign up to Patreon. There's the URL to go to the membership. It's $5 Canadian, and we'll have a ton of Habs prospect coverage, written and video, and I'll also put up a lot of videos on NHL games, NHL players like Reinbacher. He makes his first game in the NHL. I'll put videos up there that I can't put anywhere else. I'll scout his game, break it down, put it on Patreon. I hope you can join. Mark matched the toonie. Oh, somebody beat them both here just now. Who was it? Joe Smalek. Whoa. Is it Smalek? $5. First time joining you live. Big fan. Which network analysts do you think are the best evaluators of talent? There are some wild takes out there. Well, thanks, Joe. Where are you hail from? Looks like you got a beautiful lake there. You got a cottage, or is that where you live, or on vacay? I ask new people. Thank you so much for contributing, Joe. I appreciate it. Um, the best evaluators of talent, the network analysts. I don't know. You'd have to probably run a few by me. I mean, I like Kevin Bieksa. I think he's really good. Um, Frankie Corrado looks like he's a pretty good talent evaluator. He's fairly new at the job, but he says a lot of things that I agree with. Um, uh, I mean, Bob McKenzie was the best. I loved Bob, and I miss him dearly. Uh, analyzing hockey games. Those three, spring to mind, but I'm sure there's lots of other ones. I don't watch a pile of them, but I think Zharovsky is, or he gives me the impression he's going to take a little longer to develop. Oh yeah, 2 more years in the K and possibly two in Laval. I personally think the wing is his only chance. Oh, okay, you do. Okay, I agree with you, Terry. I think it's wing, and I think it's a few years. Um, oh, you're from Toronto. I'm from enemy territory, Toronto. Love your work. I learned a ton. Thank you very much, Joe. Hey, it's not Toronto's not enemy territory. There's lots of Habs fans in Toronto, right? Thousands, many thousands. I saw someone's misguided list of Montreal's younger, where they had Zeroski number 4 behind Slav, Demi, and Hudson in that order. They had Hage at 7. Yeah, somebody who shall remain nameless, who was actually trending on Twitter, and it wasn't very positive earlier today. I've spoken my piece about him before. I'm not biggest fan, but look, I, I'll say it. I'll just say it this way. There's there's people. It's their job, I guess, but they get spread too thin, right? You can't possibly have enough time to properly evaluate every team's like either you follow the draft or you evaluate drafted prospects. Being able to do both and do it capably, I think it's an impossible job because there's not enough hours in the day. Like I put out the recruits draft guide for 8 years, where heavy concentration was on the draft, on draft eligible players. But some of these, um, you know, some of these people working for the Athletic and such, uh, they put out rankings on 16-year-olds. They put out rankings, the class next year. They do their draft rankings. They do. Um, they apparently scout all of the prospects that are drafted in each team system. That's 32 times. That's 600 and some on top of the 1,000 that they got to watch every draft year. Impossible. You can't do it and do it properly. So I don't try to. I don't try to put out, you know, rankings on the draft 2 years from now. I don't try to put out rank each team's, I each team's prospect group and say, well, this is 1 to 20 for Anaheim. This is 1 to 20. It's difficult enough doing it properly just on Montreal's prospects, and also put out a draft list. So, um, like even last year when I concentrated more on the Habs, my draft rankings weren't as in depth as before. I wasn't as happy with them last year as I had been in the past, because I didn't have those thousands of hours that I felt that I needed to properly evaluate and put out as good an accurate a ranking as I could each year. But they these people are asked to do it, and so I don't necessarily blame them. It's more just the company they work for thinking, oh yeah, well, I mean, it gets clicks, right? Everybody talking about it today. A lot of it negative, and with good reason, because it's just not accurate. There's going to be all sorts of rankings out of place. Every followers of every team look at it and say, why is that guy? There's no way he should be like Gabe Perreault was sixth on New York Rangers. Like Hage 7 and Zeroski 4. Like, come on, you know. But there is a certain faction. Zharovsky's. It's not just one guy. I think he's overrated in general by um, by the media, because look, when you don't have the time to be scouting these guys, like someone like I do, like I watch probably 50 plus games. Like I scouted Oliver Kapanen 200 times before he ever played in the NHL, and I was not surprised to see what he could do. I kept saying that he could. Um, but I put in the work, and I watched them. I watched them entire games, all their shifts. I see them away from the puck. But when you're trying to cover 2,000 between draft eligible, between 16-year-olds, between the top prospects in every club, you're talking 2,000 people you got to look at in a year. Good luck doing that properly. You just can't, and you don't. So a lot of these media folks, they see highlights, right? They look at the stats. Oh well, Zharovsky must be, you know, look at what he did in the KHL last year. Look at the highlight. Look at the nice assists, the dangles. He must be better than Age. Well, respectfully, I have to disagree with that. Um, okay, that's enough about that. What are your thoughts on uh, Zeroski? We've got it. We've got it from Terry here. What, Terry? What do you? Um, Anybody else here? Do they think that he might be 4 years away? Can the teams we want to trade with hire these folks to scout for them, please? Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and there are clubs too, I'm sure, that think Zerowski's the second coming, and you know, I think that there's been clubs. Some people get asked by me, and oh yeah, Zeroski's the best. Michkov the other day was asked, who's the best Russian, and Zharovsky get mentioned. So yeah, it's uh, it's not just media. It's in general, Zharovsky I think is very highly regarded. And hey, we see it. We see some skill there. It's not like the kid doesn't have skill. I just to play in the NHL and uh, to be a top six player, you gotta have an all around game. And for me, Zharovsky, you've got to be physically ready. You've got to compete hard all the time or most of the time. And for me, you know, Zharovsky's still a little piece away in that regard. Uh, oh, what did you think? Did you agree? Yes, yes, I did perfectly, Terry. Absolutely, I did. You'll have to go back and catch that part. About I don't know the 38-minute mark. All right. Um, this is going to be kind of cool that I have uh, two of the Europe players that are playing in Europe, two European players playing center, exhibition season back to back here. We can kind of, we can sort of compare Vinnie Roorer to Alex Zharovsky in looking at his video here now. Um, I have a hard time seeing him play anytime soon. Hage will definitely arrive before him. I don't think he'll play for Montreal. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's have a look at Vinny Roar, and it'd be kind of cool because we just saw Alex Zeroski at center. Now let's have a look at Vinny Roar. Different leagues, yeah, sure, but Swiss league is very good. I don't find right now that there's a much of a difference in level between the Swiss league and the KHL. Hey, he's playing with Thomas Tatar. Thomas Tatar in the KHL, you know what he'd do this year? I bet you he'd be a top 20 scorer. So, uh, number 90 on, you'll see him on a few of these clips. That's Tatar, who is Roarer's line mate to start the season. But let's have a look at Vinny Roarer. 1 goal, 2 assists in first game on the August 18th for his new club, Zug. I think I did a little better highlighting today. Look at that. He's got some, he's not lacking skill either, folks. Like he can handle a puck. His skating has gotten a lot better. He skates better than Zharovsky at this point. Um, he's I think we're going to see a big jump in his point totals this year. And I said it. I think that he might be a top 20 scorer in the Swiss league. He'll get the opportunity this year. He's got the competitiveness. I look at that move. Was that nice? And set up the guy. We'll just check that out again. Again, I think his look at beautiful. Nice setup. There he gets back again. Good play. He's freaking sturdy on his feet, man. He's not like he might be 170 pounds, 5'10, but sturdy. Here he is. Nice setup on the power play. There was his first assist. He won 8 of 13 draws in this game. Look at him going to the net. He fights all the time. And he got another assist there. And in large part because he battled. Look at the big guy go to hit him. Nope. Get it out. He's a lot sturdier on his feet than Zharovsky at this point. Look at the battle there. I love his he maintains really good positioning. I like how he positions himself. Smart and good away from the puck. Look at him. See how he looked? We'll just back this up a bit here. But you can see how he looked back, saw the guy, then braced for the hit, right? The old reverse hit. But I like how he aware on the ice, right? Take a look. The puck's coming to me. Okay, who's coming? And then time it perfectly. Look at this, the battle here. Goes to the front of the net. I love it. He's got Brendan Gallagher traits, and then finishes his check there. And he's gotten quicker. Like he's off the mark there, pretty quick. There he is to the front of the net again. That time he got knocked down, but always battles. There is some Gallagher. There's no doubt about that in this kid. Yeah, I like how he went to the front of the net here. And look at he's like a dog on the bone. Love his effort away from the puck. I really do. Look at this move. And then boom. I wish there was a video of that up close, but here's the replay of it. Look at the move. I mean, that's not a great defenseman, obviously, but look at the shot. That was like ping, top corner. Beautiful shot. So there's his 3 points. He had them like halfway through the game. Big reason why they won this game 8-1, a blowout. But I mean, Vinnie Roorer, look there even, eh? Lost the puck, but then battled the guy and made sure that the guy didn't keep it. And look, sprung for the breakaway. Got hooked there on the break. Look at that, eh? Look at the stir. He's hard to knock down. He competes like Gallagher, but I dare say he doesn't fall as often as Gallagher. Just pretty sturdy on his feet. Here again. Defensemen know his name, you know. He's battling with them. And then on the forecheck here, you might see that I maybe like this kid, eh? But this isn't like cherry picking. This is just the notable plays. And there aren't typically when I do a Vinnie Roarer highlight, there aren't a lot of bad plays because he just doesn't make them too often. Here again, battling hard. Look at this. Then comes back, then dogs this guy. He might be 5'10" and a half, but like I think he might be a little bigger than 5'10". He looks it there. But here again, stayed between the goalie, the net, and the player. Kept them, good defensive, good center there. Again, got to the guy, got the puck off him, good positioning. That one there, maybe he could have got to that player, a little quicker. Maybe that's as close to not great defensive play as you get in this game. And here again, fast on the forecheck, right? Gets the puck, gets it back. Good chance. Almost had his 4th point right there. Again, gets hit, just spins off. Here he is again. Good play, got it in on net. He's not he's obviously not as skilled but I do get, I do, he does remind me a bit of Saku Koivu. Now, not saying he's as skilled as Saku Koivu, he's not, but there are some similarities there in just how he plays, his two-way game, his compete. He's even more competitive than Saku, but Saku was very competitive too. Look at that little play, eh? But very smart and underrated skill. Like the little tip. Let's just watch this again if you can. Unfortunately, the camera's not real close, but look how he tips this to himself off the boards here. It's a really smart play. See how he did that? And then dekes the guy, gets it out, and then hammers the guy down. Like let's just watch that whole sequence again. I love it. Boom. Tips it, then beats the guy to the inside, and then boom. Big guy just goes flying. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then hard to the front of the net, as usual. Here he is, back checking, as always. But he had one last chance here. Good shot on net. So 4 or 5 points was not out of the question in this game. I say you see. I think you'll see a big jump in his production this year. Let's not forget he's still only 21 years of age, right? He was drafted. He was the second youngest player in his draft class. So a week. If he's born a week later, he's not even drafted till the following season. So always got to keep that in mind too when you compare him to others in his draft class. But I don't know. I like him more than. Am I allowed to say this? I like him more than Alex Zharovsky. Like you look at the you look at the two, and I just I don't know. Yeah, Zharovsky's got more. He's taller. He's got more skill, but you know, I don't know that he's smarter. Everything else, like when you look at a checklist of traits that you look for in a player, Rohrer, pretty much. I mean, skill and size are important, obviously, but every other department, and maybe smarts and vision. Uh, well, maybe not smarts, but vision. I'll give the edge to Zeroski, but every other department, I kind of, I favor Roar, and in some regards, quite a bit more. So, um, hey, old school scout, right? I like certain things. Uh, Seen a lot of hockey in my day, seen a lot of Zharovskys, seen a lot of Roars, and for me, as far as which guy translates better, who has the higher floor, for me, it's Vinnie Roorer. I think he stands a better chance of being a Montreal Canadian. Um, Now, do I think he could be a top six Montreal Canadian? No. I think it's his destiny. I think he could be a third line center. I really do. I think that um, that's his upside, and that's pretty damn good. Now, Zharovsky, I think, is middle line winger. So at the end of the day, which is better? It depends, obviously. If Zharovsky ends up being a third line winger and Roar's a second line set or third line center, Roar might end up being the more valuable asset. But it's a strong statement. But I think when you look at the two, you see back to back there. I don't know that um, Dory, do you like slow down on the Koivu comparison? I said the exact thing. He's not as skilled. Different worlds? No, not different worlds. Not as skilled. Um, did you gloss over that part that I said? I'll say it again. He reminds me a bit of Saku Koivu. And I'll say it again, not as skilled. So listen a little closer, Dory. Zeroski will be amazing. Just the type of player. Go to bed, Dory. Okay, it's a little early. Dormevu. Zharovsky will be amazing. Just the type of player Toronto should trade us knives for. Yeah, maybe. Could be. I don't like people putting, words in my mouth because you know, I hate that when you qualify something and you say, he's not Koivu, obviously he's not a skill, but he reminds me a bit of Koivu, and then somebody, oh, don't compare him to Koivu. I didn't. But there's always that person out there, and it's the same on social media, right? Oh, don't you know? Don't even use them in the same breath. Well, anyway, Kapanen sticks around without getting traded. Cappy's the third center behind Suzuki and Hage. We'll see. I don't like to make those predictions, Terry. It's either Hage or Kapanen, I think, is the second line center. Look, Hage spent time on the wing last year, so there's no guarantee he's the second line center. And look, what Cappy did as a rookie, it pretty damn impresses. There's a lot of second line centers that didn't have that kind of rookie season, so I'm not counting him out as the second line. We'll have a better idea this year. If Kapanen's better than last year, Hage could well be. I like a line of Cappy centering Hage and Demidov. I really do. I think, and then Roorer could be the third line center down the road. It's I don't mind that at all. Who's to say Hage ends up at center? Well, yeah, I could see Hage starting on the wing after the NCAA season. Yeah, it's possible. Seem to recall Grant saying on numerous occasions he doesn't like to do the who do you compare this player to game, finding he normally draws small comparison. Sorry to speak for you, Grant. Yeah, I'm not big on when I say it's I never say, oh, he's the next Koivu or he looks just like Koivu. Very rare I go there, but just and I noticed it today a little bit. So similar size, similar motor, similar way they think the game. Those similar competitive spirit. There are some things that I'd say, well, you know, there's some Koivu there, and I really think people are going to be surprised. I think Vinnie Roorer, like I said before, I think he'll be a top 20 scorer in the Swiss League this year, and that'll be at 22 years of age, and that's pretty impressive. So, you know, there's also Beck in the fold too. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine, Beck. Imagine if Hage is the second line center, then you got Beck, Kapanen, and Roar fighting it out to be the third line. There's no lack of depth down the middle in the Canadiens organization right now. I think it's one of the reasons why, at the end of the day, Kent Hughes and the management staff look at it and say, okay, we're not just looking today, we're looking future. Is second line center, it's the hue and cry of a lot of Habs fans and the media. Second line center, got to get a second line center. First of all, they're not easy to get. You pay a premium. Secondly, is it really the Canadiens' biggest need? If you I think Cappy's vastly underrated by most. I think Hage can be second line center. I think, um, you know, down the road, um, there's lots of good third line. Whoever doesn't make it second line center could be a hell of a third line center. So um, it's not even, I think Kent Hughes has not even ruled out, and this will always get some people, rolling, but the possibility that Kirby Dach could still be a second line center. That was the thought when they traded for him. Even Alex Newhook. When they traded for Alex Newhook, the hope was that he could compete for that second line center spot too. Again, I think he should be on the wing, but between Newhook, Kapanen, Hage, Dach, I think that they have all of these guys, none of them they're either mid prime or early prime or not even in their prime yet. It's not the end of the world if they don't sacrifice some of their future, which they keep saying that they're not going to do, to get this supposed second line center that's going to, solve all their problems, right? And again, how many teams are offering second line centers? There's not very many. Hage isn't a lock to being a center. Hage is the plan 2C, as the talk is. They wanted him there this year. The talk. Well, there's talk, Terry, but what do you mean the talk is? And how do you know they wanted him there this year? What? You read a report from somebody? Is there a reporter that, Kent Hughes went up to and said, yeah, we wanted Hage to be the second line center. I don't believe that's transpiring, Terry. All it is speculation. I think Marty would like Cappy to be the second line center. They wanted him last year. They wanted him to join the team, but they weren't going to throw him to the fire as a second line center in the playoffs with no experience whatsoever. If you read that or heard it, I think you got some false information there. Yeah, there will be trades. Plus, I don't see Evans and Deneau in Montreal long term. No, that's why I see Roar on the wing. Oh yeah, he could be both. Beck, yeah, and Roar center. Yeah, Kapanen might even end up on the wing down the road. Hage could end up on the wing. There's all sorts of possibilities. I like having multiple guys that can play either position. It's a good problem, pleasant problem to have too many centers, because the easiest conversion on a hockey rink is going from center to wing. Watch, Doc comes in great shape and totally knocks it out of the park and becomes center between Demidov and Bolduc. My bold and delusional projection. Yeah, you never know. They better sign. Bolduc there. They will. But yeah, hey, there's lots of stuff you can't rule out. Bolduc's in the and that's a good situation to be in. Newhook could be on the second line. Doc could be on the second line. Kapanen could be on the second line. Bolduc could be on the second line. Beck could be on the third line. There's lots, it's there's just so much under 26 talent on this team, and it's going to be a fun training camp. I hope Beck makes that next step and wins a spot. I'd like him in the lineup instead of Texier. I know I'm not the biggest Texier fan, but we'll see. And they can kind of, alternate in and out every now and then. I guess if Beck struggles a bit, you can put Texier in. If Beck does seem like he's ready, he can go back down. But I hope he wins spot. I would love to see Doc play even close to his potential and get a full year under his belt. Hey, as much as I like Cappy and think that he can be the second line center, the best possible scenario for the Canadiens this year would be the Kirby Doc is freaking. We see what we saw before his 2 knee injuries that season. He was well on his way to being a terrific number 2 center. If we see that again this year and he becomes the second line center and Kapanen bops down to the third line and centers that, and Deneau and Evans play together, or on the fourth unit, wow, that to me is the perfect scenario. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for the best from all of these guys. I want to see the best from all of them, and if we see the best, Kirby Doc's a second line center. If we see his potential, he's the second line center over Hage, even when Hage comes up. So yeah, that's what I want to see from Kirby Doc. He was a top 3 pick in the NHL. Michael Hage was in the top 20 pick. Kirby Doc is supposed to be Montreal's second line center right now. So if he ever reaches that potential, and it's not too late you can't write him off. Go look at Dylan Strome's career, right? And Strome didn't deal with having 2 severe knee injuries like Kirby Doc did. That's one reason why Rybacker's a little behind, and it's one of the reasons why Doc right now isn't second line center, because of injuries. It's just the way it is. But Dylan Strome, this is an example here. 22, 23. All right. Up until 22, 23, he had never, early on with Chicago, 51 points. Okay. But his breakthrough year was with Washington, 22, 23. He was 25 years of age, right? 65 points, then 67, 82, and 58 this past year. It took him till he was 25 to really become a legitimate top 2 center. How old is Kirby Doc? I think he's 25, right? Well, here's hoping. It's now. It's time. It's Kirby Doc time. Please take a minute to hit like and subscribe. That's a good idea, Mark. I hope people can do that. And you know what they should also do? They should go see Bonachère Caves, Eganville, Ontario. Private family-owned business run by hockey fans. You know where Eganville is? I do. I grew up 15 minutes from there in beautiful Renfrew, Ontario. It is a gorgeous drive in the summertime up to the Bonachère Caves. It's not even in Eganville, actually. It's between Eganville and Douglas. And just a gorgeous drive. It's only 70 minutes from Ottawa. So if you're in the nation's capital, you want to go to a nice place, Bonachère Caves, folks. It is well worth the visit. Check out the website, bonacharecaves.com. Is at the bottom. Some really cool pictures in there. There they are looking at stalactite, well lit, good planking, wood planking throughout. So the walk is pretty, it's good. It's a nice for the kids. They nice and safe, and kids love it. $15 for kids to go on the tour, only 25 for adults. You can't beat the price. And of course, as I've mentioned before, I put out a hockey book, notable hockey players from the Ottawa Valley, Ray Shepard, Ted Lindsay, Frank Finnegan, Frank Nyber, Jim Poplinski. I can go on and naming Rod Shute, who played for the Montreal Canadiens, all notable players from the Ottawa Valley in my hockey book. You get that free if you go and take a tour at the Bonachère Caves. So basically, it's a free tour. Anybody that wants to read up on the Ottawa Valley, Upper Ottawa Valley's more notable hockey players. Bonachère Caves, folks. Seen a video from an article that Cappy comparable to Anton Lundell. Oh yeah, little bit. Cappy, Newhook, and Anderson could be interesting. I think he's more of a shooter than Lundell. Plenty of speed, some toughness, and good to great defensively. Now that's a possible great third line. Yeah. Cappy for second line center, Kirby winger. I hope Cappy, I hope it's Cappy or Doc. I love Beck, Roar not so much. I have an opinion like everyone else. Yeah, why do you not like Roar? That's great to have an opinion. I could tell that you don't like Roar because you know you had to say what you did and get snide. But fine to have an opinion, but I don't like being slow down. Like you know, you can have an opinion, but don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say he was Saku Koivu. Did I say you can't have an opinion? Like Dory, like you're all over the place here today, buddy. I think the Habs brass is not totally happy going back. Happy Hage going back. Eh, personally believe they wanted to get at least a look at see how far along he was. I don't think they mind at all. He's got his reasons. Look, Mark gifted a Habs cast membership. Monkey see, monkey do. Sheldon gifted $2 from I see a pattern here. $2 from Sheldon, $2 from Mark. Gifted a Habscast membership. Mark did. Sheldon gifted a Habscast. All right. I wish more of you would follow their lead. Follow your lead, Mark. Careful, Sheldon. There are some nights that can be costly. Yeah. My benefit. Thank you both. To both of you. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's it looks like most of you on here pretty good. You look at it pretty realistically. And again, I like the maturity of this group where you realize that Alex Zharovsky has some warts and that he's not necessarily what the team needs in the future here, that Hage is a better fit in the top six. And, I like that people get it. There's some pretty smart hockey fans on here. People have to realize that Roar's been playing in the man's league since he was 18. That really does count for something, even if he isn't lighting the scoreboard. Look, he he was asked to play a checking center role for 3 years. Mark Crawford absolutely loved him. At 19 and 20, he played a top three center role on a Swiss team that won back to back championships and the Champions League. So the best team in Sweden, the best team in Finland, beat them, beat them for the Champions League. It's a testament to just how good the Swiss league is. And Vinny was a big part of those Champions League's teams. He played great in them. I'll see if I can find the stats here. But last year, his stats took a step back because they got a new coach in there. I don't know. I still I think Mark Crawford, compared to the new coach, as far as talent evaluator goes, Mark Crawford won a friggin' Stanley Cup. Okay, a little more. I'll trust his judgment a little bit over. And so, he moves to another team, and what do? What does their coach do? Makes him a first line center. He was out of place. He should have been in their top six last year. That's why he's moved on. One of the reasons, because look, he should be playing a first or second line center role in that league. And obviously, new coach thinks that. It's funny, who the coach is in Zurich this year? Claude Julien, and he loved his agent was telling me Claude loved him and wanted him back, wanted him there, and was going to, said like, hey, sign back with us. You'll get a bigger role. I love the way you play. Like Claude really wanted Vinny to come back and play for them. So again, another guy with a pretty good, former NHL Stanley Cup champion, right? Here, I'm just getting up his stats. Champions League. Yep. 5 goals in Champions League play over 2 seasons. He stepped up big time. So that's playing against the Kalpa, Ilves, Fargstad, Geneva, Berlin, Ice Barons, like the best teams in Europe. And he, as a friggin' 19, 20-year-old, scored 5 goals in Champions League play. Was 59% on faceoffs. He's a warrior. He's a gamer. Love him. I think he'll play. I'll think he'll play in the for the Habs. That competitiveness is absolutely what they need. People have to realize that Roorer has been playing it. Yeah, sorry. Once a year, I plan on donating a good amount to Grant. So long as you don't follow that evening, you'll be good. Right on. Christmas time, Mark. Yeah. Grant probably won't agree with my last comment. Oh, no. Well said about wanting to rest. V-Doc, nice to have you back. And you're agreeing with me. I may take a screenshot of this, V-Doc. Well said about wanting the best of all these kids fighting for spots. I've been saying camp is going to be fun. Only so many chairs, but the season will be long, and we will get many looks. V-Doc, nice of you to join us. There you go. And what happened? Why did you switch back to the old Da Vinci? You lose your code there, Da Vinci? V-Doc? Reinbacher also played professionally before he came over, but many people don't take that into consideration. Yes, he did. He played quite well. I thought. All right. So, what else is there? Let me just see if I can get see what we can get out of NHL news here today. Very quiet. Philadelphia re-signed Hunter McDonald to a 2-year contract. Um, Washington has already opened extension talks with Ryan Leonard. Oh, that's a smart idea. No big trades, no um, nothing, nothing hot and heavy happening in the NHL this particular day. The big news basically was that Carey Price is going to be honored, Ring of Honor for the Montreal Canadiens, and a little more deserving than Pierre Turgeon to be honored, I think, by the club. Eh? That one's still, for me, it was an example of why this is a little flawed. This Ring of Honor. I think there should be like a caveat. There should be asterisk there. Yeah, honor Hall of Fame players that play for the Habs, but make it a minimum of 200 games at least. You know, I think they didn't think that through really properly when Pierre Turgeon ended up getting put into the Ring of Honor after playing one season basically for the Habs. Ken Suzuki and Caulfield carry Habs to a cup. Well, the beauty of that is, Gary, that they don't have to. I think one of the reasons why I believe that the Canadiens can someday win a cup is Demidov can help carry them to a cup. Gooley can help carry them to a cup. Um, Slav can help carry them to a cup. Kid named Lane Hudson can help carry them to a cup. Michael Hage can help carry them to a puck. Fowler and Dobish can help carry them to a cup. Noah Dobson can help carry them to a cup. David Reinbacher can help carry them to a cup. It's not going to be on two guys' shoulders because there's all sorts of guys that can contribute, and you don't win a cup ever on the back of just two players. It's always, look at Carolina, right? They their third line center won the Conn Smythe. It doesn't. Vegas a few years back. Who was the guy there? Um, the little winger, Marchessault. Was he? You say, well, he carried them the cup because he won the Conn Smythe. No, he won the Conn Smythe, but there were all sorts of reasons, all sorts of players that carried them to the cup that year. I recall the Tatar Danault Galley line days. Tatar seemed to have lost all his mojo in 1 year. Would you happen to know more details about what happened back then? There's been a lot of players where it happens, where it just you start you go into a scoring slump and you don't come out of it. Confidence is a big part of being an NHLer, and then you get taken off a line, you get less ice time, you grip and you stick more. David and Draisaitl, two powerhouses, no cups. Yeah. They did get to a seventh game and back to back. I mean, pretty close. If two players is good enough, yeah. Well, I mean, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, 100-point scorer. Let's not over, Bouchard, top 4-point producing defenseman. It's not like they've been alone. I mean, I get what you're saying, but And they did, you know, no, they didn't win a cup, but 1 goal loss in Game 7. Next year, uh, they won 14 games. Anyway, um, everybody's kind of repeating, but anyway, yeah, but it's still the same concept, right? McDavid and Draisaitl couldn't carry Edmonton to the cup, so it's not two players that win a cup for you. Even in the Mario years, right? Mario and Jagger, okay, but they had some. You had to have some other good pieces. Ronnie Francis, and I can name 6 players from those teams, right? Um, they can't defend that well. Um, who's that? You talking about? Oh, you're talking about McDavid and Draisaitl? Yeah. All right, folks. I think I wasn't going to do a podcast tonight, and I have to go walk Chester. He was supposed to get his dental. Didn't happen today. His friggin' mouth's bleeding again, so I gotta go look after my pup and take him for a walk here now that it's cooled down a bit. So um, we'll save the Edmonton Oilers talk for another podcast. Thank you, everyone, as all for coming out. As always, I appreciate the contributions. Some great, some great chat here. Everybody, everybody had some good points. Dory and I didn't see eye to eye today, and that happens. We don't we don't always see eye to eye. Um, Appreciate everybody tuning in, and have a great night. It was a great day to talk hockey. I'll uh, I'll probably do another show tomorrow night. Okay, we shall see you 7 p.m. Um, oh, Dory's just a sec here. What do you got to ask here, Dory? I like Texier's skill level, can play up and down. What prospect is taking his spot? You like Texier and you don't like Vinnie Roorer. Okay, that's all I need to say. Um, uh, Owen Beck. All right. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I hope. Bye for now.